Today I'm building a habitat for the Asian small-clawed otter, along with an underwater viewing platform that is packed full of entertainment and education. My name's Gemma, enjoy the video. Now, before we get into building for the otters, I want to give a massive shout out to the incredible people who commented on my last video. Your names have been added to the entrance building and I have gave you a founder's VIP plaque, so thank you so much for all the people who took the time to drop a comment. Now back to the otters. So the first thing that I done with this habitat was build out a custom barrier, and that is just because I like to go custom with my builds. I do this all the time, and I wanted to make sure that the guests could easily look over the barrier. So we do have some kids at the side there, and I made sure that this would be suitable for them to get a really good look, and then we're just building everything out. So what's really useful with this is once you've got one section done, you can just duplicate that along and fill in the gaps. This habitat itself is quite a small one, I'll be honest with you. I wanted there to be a concrete area that is really easy for the staff to clean and make sure that the habitat is really fresh for the otters to poop all over. Let's be honest, animals are disgusting. So right now I am building out the hard shelter, and this is going to be like a little viewing area so that if they're inside, you can have a look, watch them sleeping, which is not creepy at all. And one thing you'll notice is throughout this whole entire zoo that I am constantly using the same materials, and there's two reasons for that. One is because it makes a consistent theme throughout the whole entire zoo, and I also think from a building point of view, if you're buying the same materials, you might get a cheaper deal, like a bulk deal. I don't know if that's necessarily the thing. I'm not an architect. I don't build houses. I was going to say graphic designer, but I'm actually not a graphic designer. My job role has changed. Graphic designer by trade, but that's not what I do in my 9 to 5. I'm sure you guys don't care what I do for my 9 to 5, but it's a very cool job. Anyway, I digress. So we are now building out the pool for our little otter friends, and I am still going back to putting in loads of concrete here. Actually, it's plaster, it's not concrete, but I'm building these steps down to the bottom here, and the reason for that is I wanted there to be an area that if the habitat gets absolutely disgusting, and I would imagine it does, that they could essentially take all the water out, the keepers could come down the steps, give it a really good clean, and then let the otters back in. So that was the whole idea for that. It also might make it a little bit easier for the otters to get in and out of the pool, although to be honest with you, they don't use it as much as I hope they would. But yeah, I'm now basically just lining up the pool with these plaster pieces. I did struggle a little bit trying to get these all lined up. I think there's something a bit funky with the world access in Planet Zoo. I don't know if it's a Planet Zoo thing or is it a me thing. It's probably a me thing, let's be honest. But yeah, we're just lining up the pool here with the plaster pieces and getting it all nice and tidy. There is a little bit that I have to go back in and just push the terrain so it just looks nice and clean. And you'll notice from this section is there is no underwater viewing area, and that is because at this point I wasn't really thinking about that. I just thought about lining the pool, and then it wasn't until a little bit later on when I was like, do you know what, we could make this underwater viewing area because there is not much swimming animals in this park. There is going to be the gharial, which obviously swims, and I was like, no, let's try and just showcase what this game is capable of. So I'm just adding in the water now, and then it just didn't line up properly, so you can see I've went away and faffed about with just adding in a barrier there, and then we're just throwing the barrier around the actual habitat. Now I struggled with this pathing system, oh my gosh, to the point where I actually had to, you'll see it there, I had to like raise it up a little bit. It was an absolute nightmare, but thankfully we got there in the end, and now I'm just building out a custom built fence which is all the same colour, and I actually regret doing that. I should have went back in and played about with the colours a little bit so there's a little bit of variation, but then I thought, do you know what, if it was a freshly made habitat it would all probably be the same colour, so we're just sticking with it. And now I want to put in a waterfall area just because it looks pretty, and lots of like foliage. They're rocks, Gemma. That is not foliage. It's because we just put foliage down. Honestly, sometimes I wonder why I bother to do voiceovers, because I am watching it as I have built it previously. I know exactly what's coming up, but sometimes my brain just does not compute with what my eyes see and what my brain thinks it sees and then what comes out of my mouth. So I do actually feel very scatterbrained when I do voiceovers. So yeah, let's focus. Let's get back to the habitat, which is something that I'm really working on at the moment. So I'm adding in these grungy textures, the decals, which are the best thing I think Planet Zoo has ever added to the game. I actually love them, and I may have put in too many of them, but you know what? Otters are disgusting. I don't actually know if they are disgusting animals. They are probably delightful. But yeah, I just wanted it to feel like this was a really like used habitat. And then we're going back to just tidying up the barrier here. I kept all of this in just because I wanted to showcase the struggle that I went through to get everything all lined up. So this is kind of leads off into the backstage area for the habitat. And here, I thought I would just add this in because I thought it was quite funny. I made bank when it came to selling the animals here, which is actually something that I have fixed since then. So in our previous episode, we done the entrance building and I added in 3 exhibit animals. And what I done was I made sure that they were well taken care of in terms of if they were going to have babies, it would automatically then go into the trade centre or they would automatically be sold. So that's essentially what you just saw there. Is I was having a look at adding the otters into the habitat. Noticed that I had loads and loads of animals just sitting there and then sold them all. So we have now got plenty of money, which is absolutely fantastic when you are building a franchise because, well, money just makes the world a beautiful, lovely place. So right now I'm building a information board, and because this is an eco-friendly zoo, we're trying to use resourced, sustainable materials. I just love having this kind of cork board, ply board, chipboard. I don't know what the difference between these materials are, but yeah, I love using it. It's just so rustic and that's the style that we definitely are going for here. So you can adopt an otter here, and I'm just trying to add in a little bit more detail. There is 10 slots on this board. So again, if you want to adopt an otter, let me know in the comments below. Just say, I want to adopt an otter. I don't know if there's any otter emojis, and that would be absolutely amazing. Or maybe just like a splash emoji. If you put that in the comments below, I will know that you want to be on the board. Right now I'm building some custom, just little nice custom education signs here. I just wanted there to be the opportunity for the guests to learn more, but also not be excessively massive. And then I am adding in this, which I stole off of the workshop. I don't know who made it. I thought I don't have time to make any fancy looking things like this in Planet Zoo, no disrespect, but yeah, I just took it off the workshop, and we're going here to line the pool. So I liked adding in this detail where this is kind of like a custom vent thing, so if the otters did get a bit rowdy, then the water's not going to go absolutely anywhere, it's going to drain it away. And yeah, there's so much going on in this episode. I forget how much details that I add in and how much I build. But yeah, there's a little cooling vent system here for the otters, and then I thought, let's add it for the guests as well. And we're just adding in that detail for where the vents would come up, and you can see that it's already pumping out cold air for our otters. And I just, I really went to town on this one. I really thought about where everything would line up to. And then we're just adding some solar panels. Obviously it's an eco-friendly zoo, so I wanted to make sure that everything is sustainable, off the grid kind of thing. As we are based in a desert, you know, there's not going to be much of a power system. So we're using the beautiful sun to to basically power everything up, and just putting in some safety precautions there if they needed to go up and like clean the power vents, or what, they're not vents, what are they called? Solar panels. If they needed to clean the solar panels, easy access to get up there. And now we are actually building the underwater viewing area. It's here, it's finally here. So again, I said this before, I just randomly decided that we needed an underwater viewing area just to make it a little bit more interesting. I do actually like building things like this. I think it's quite fun. So we're just adding some rocks in as well, and then I really love adding in the little details. So this little otter statue is absolutely fantastic. Adding in a keeper's talk here, and I'm stealing my board just because I don't want to remake that. So there is 10 opportunities, and there's 3 boards, so that's 30 opportunities that you can adopt an otter. So if you're feeling generous and want your name on a board, then, as I said before, drop me a comment. Or emoji. You don't even have to say like, I want to adopt an otter, Gemma. Just drop me an emoji. Just a little splash emoji. You know? You do you, boo. So I'm just adding in some details. Oh my gosh, guys, I love doing this. Like, this is the part of Planet Zoo that I absolutely love. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't get enough of it. Adding in rocks, foliage, very basic, very boring. But the little details that we added to this habitat was like my favourite thing. And I know I'm jumping all around here, but I'm basically trying to hide the donation bins with these barrels, and they're nearly the perfect fit. But yeah, this is the part I love. Now, adding in these little details is just what I live for. And I'm trying to get these like boys added in. I mean, like, I'm from a place in Scotland that is beside the coast, and all these little details, it's just lovely. I just love adding them, you know? Just really enjoy adding them. But no, the idea behind this one was, obviously it's underwater, there's otters. I love these like fake rocks, like it's properly man-made, like they've ordered in these rocks, you'll touch them, they're made of like styrofoam, they're completely fake, but these barrels are amazing. And what I've done is, this bit here is lava, but I wanted to make it look like it was oil. So here we are on the tour, and this is our habitat here. We'll just try and squeeze in here so we can get a really good look at the habitat itself. So you can see there is otters absolutely nowhere. Oh wait, there's one there. There's one right there having a little swim, which is absolutely fantastic because hopefully they will stay down there and we can take you off. Let's just squeeze past all these guys and I'll take you to the underwater viewing area, which I didn't actually locate where that was. So that's just around here, this side of the zoo. So yeah, really nice habitat here. And then if we come over here, this takes you to the backstage area, which I've put in a little gate. We won't go down there because it's ugly. And then this part here, it's not finished. I'm going to give you a warning before we go in, and we are just going to ignore the fact that this is not done and the fact that all this is not done, but the bit at the bottom is done, and this is what we really do want to focus on. So you can see we do have our otters swimming about. Sorry, I just had a total coughing fit, so I had to mute my mic there. Anyway, we are back into the habitat. So our otters are swimming about, absolutely gorgeous. And we have like the little vent here, which would like filter out any water. I tried to make it look a little bit grubby, a little bit used in here. There is also this tiny little bit of just terrain, this bit here, that I cannot get rid of, and I'm not going to be faffing about with it. So in case you're like, what's that thing floating? I'm going to pick out all my flaws in my builds, because maybe you guys have flaws as well, and that's okay. So yeah, we have some really nice, just grungy textures in here, which I just love to put in. We've got some enrichment items as well. There's a couple up there. The thing about this habitat is, well, we'll go outside, is there is not much action going on down here, despite there being speakers, despite there being, you know, benches that people can come and, you know, sit. There's an animal talk also, which is just outside this board, that, you know, people can come and listen. What happens is, oh look, there's a keeper, love that. what does happen is the education staff will come down here, do their talk to absolutely nobody, and yeah, I don't know how to get people down here, but it's always just a ghost town. But that's okay. Maybe it's something that we can work on. Maybe I could hide some like information, like viewing points, to just try and get people down here. So the one thing I love about this habitat is the attention to detail, and it's mainly these which we all got on the Oceania pack, and I love it. I love the netting here, the barrels, and the lava. To me, the lava looks like oil, and I just thought that is like a really message that we could be sending out to people, especially because, you know, it's an aquatic animal, and I like there being a narrative for when you're walking around the zoo, that when the education staff does come down and gives you that talk, then they can, like, you know, have little signs and stuff that would then say last year X amount of oil spills happened, and just be like a little bit more conscious about the effects that the environment has on otters and all that goodness. Probably not these kind of otters, maybe more like sea otters. Again, I play this game for fun. I'm not one of those people who's going to quote things at you, so take it with a massive pinch of salt. So yeah, this is the underwater viewing area. Again, the attention to detail around here, I just really loved putting things like that in. I think this is probably why I'd really like Planet Coaster. It's just like, this is what I live for. Just like those little stupid bits, instead of like really focusing on like, does my habitat look pretty? No, my friends. Does my habitat have theming? Is what I really love. But yeah, over here there is a keeper's hut that they can obviously feed the otters, and then upstairs, which I'm just going to take you up there right now in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we are back outside of our underwater viewer area. I feel like I should probably put a sign up here as well, just so the guests actually know that that's what that's for. Even though technically from a game's point of view, it's not going to affect anything. But anyway, we will go around the habitat and I'll show you the water pump system, which is all very exciting, I must say. If that's not sarcasm, I just don't know what is. So here we go. This is our habitat. There's like little grungy bits as well, just where people have like stopped, and like what these two are doing basically. They're getting in on the information about our little friends. So the habitat itself, hello friend. Hello. So the habitat itself is pretty spacious for our little guys. We'll just go around here and we'll excuse all these people. And then this is the just part that they can, you know, get more information, and then they can look in. Why are you in the habitat? Get out of there. And oh, I'm on the roof. Okay, great, I'm on the roof. Well, this is the roof, everyone. This is the roof. How amazing is my roof? Absolutely fantastic, I would like to point out. Do you know what? We might get a really good view from here. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. It's all the vistas that you didn't expect you would see today, because now I am stuck on a roof. But what is a good point from here? Maybe I can like parkour over. No, I can't parkour. Okay, I'm stuck. Right, let me get down. Oh wow, I got down. So what I was going to be talking about was in here, obviously you can see the otters. Oh, it's happened again. There we go. We can see the otters in their habitat. Their habitat does need cleaned. Obviously I need to fence this bit off because you guys aren't supposed to be in here. Pretend like you've not seen that part. Well, just pretend like it's fine. Everyone's not affected. And then this goes off into the backstage area. But we'll just go through here because I did want to talk about up at the top here, which you have seen that because mistakenly we went on the roof. But if you come over here, there is a little power system that's going to keep our water nice and clean. And this part around here, which I've not shown off before, wow, this camera's really fast, is just like a nice vista point, basically because I didn't know what to do with this area. And I also wanted it to just be a bit more of an impact for when our guests came through the entrance building. So it's really busy in our zoo. So when you come through, you will then see just a bit of a nice vista before you kind of go into the rest of the zoo. So around here, wow, this camera is really fast, is the that's like the staff facility that you guys have all seen. But over here is just an empty pool area. Now, I was kind of humming and hawing about this because I really like how it all kind of like flows, because I wanted there to be obviously a waterfall, but then I was like, well, how does the water come off of here? We kind of need like a big pool of water. So in my head, and I don't think this is how it works at all, but in my head, what we have here is we've got like a massive pool of water, which is like clean, and that's getting like pumped through, and it's getting pumped through into this habitat here, which is obviously keeping this water clean as well. So it's kind of like just like a big cycle of water. Like this gets pumped here, it's fresh, this gets pumped over here, dirty, whatever. Again, I don't think that's how it works, but I think it should work like that, but probably doesn't work like that. So that does mean that over in here, we just have this like massive pool of water, which I'm kind of okay with right now. I was thinking about putting some billboards here, like, you know, coming soon, kind of advertising. There's maybe like a shop sale or something, and kind of using this water as something rather than just being like a massive pool of water for the sake of it being a massive pool of water. Alternatively, I could put an animal in here, but it's just a little bit fiddly when there's not really a place where an animal could go. Something that's like constantly stays underwater would be fabulous, but we don't have that in game, so that's not an option. So as a friendly reminder, because I've not already said it twice in this video, I'm going to say it a third time. If you do want to be part of the zoo and you want to adopt an otter, then let me know in the comments below, or insert some kind of aquatic emoji and I'll add your name to the boards, and I'll see you guys in the next one.